Football in tonight's European Cup Winners' Cup qualifying round match at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock beat the Irish part-time Shelbourne 2-1. And that's all from Reporting Scotland this evening. A very good night.
Legs of the European Cup Winners' Cup qualifying round, Kilmarnock beat the Irish part-timers Shelbourne 2-1. Cumbraen were beaten by the Romanian side National Bucuresti by 5-2, and Glenavon drew 1-1 with Legia Daewoo of Warsaw.
For Bobby Williamson, yesterday started like this and ended like this. We spotlight Killie's Euro return. In fact, the only Scots not to lose were Kilmarnock in the Cup Winners' Cup last night. The Rugby Park side were enjoying their first taste of European football since 1970. Friday Sports Scene spent the day with Bobby Williamson and his team as they prepared for their return to the big time.
24.5 minutes past 8.
Time for us to go back to sport. Here's Jim Spence.
And joining us now on the line, Killie boss Bobby Williamson. Bobby, an enjoyable night in store, I suspect.
I hope so. I hope there'll be a big crowd there, Jim. It's been a long time coming, European football.
Yes, it's £14 for adults, £7 for children, and it's pay at the gate.
Just a general question about tonight.
I just come through the town just now, and the town's jumping. They're absolutely up.
Of what's going to be a memorable night, hopefully, and sort of a slightly false feeling of trying to remain calm, which one really is not at this particular moment in time.
We hate no birds and we... 4.5 minutes past 8.
Time for us to go back to sport. Here's Jim Spence.
And joining us now on the line, Killie boss Bobby Williamson. Bobby, an enjoyable night in store, I suspect.
I hope so. I hope there'll be a big crowd there, Jim. It's been a long time coming, European football.
Yes, it's £14 for adults, £7 for children, and it's pay at the gate.
Just a general question about tonight.
I just come through the town just now, and the town's jumping. They're absolutely up.
Of what's going to be a memorable night, hopefully, and sort of a slightly false feeling of trying to remain calm, which one really is not at this particular moment in time.
4.5 minutes past 8.
Time for us to go back to sport. Here's Jim Spence.
And joining us now on the line, Killie boss Bobby Williamson. Bobby, an enjoyable night in store, I suspect.
I hope so. I hope there'll be a big crowd there, Jim. It's been a long time coming, European football.
Yes, it's £14 for adults, £7 for children, and it's pay at the gate.
Just a general question about tonight.
I just come through the town just now, and the town's jumping. They're absolutely up for this.
Of what's going to be a memorable night, hopefully, and sort of a slightly false feeling of trying to remain calm, which one really is not at this particular moment in time.
We hate no birds and we hate dairy.
If we play up to the quality we have an outside chance of getting a result out of the tie. If we go away tonight, maybe one down, we'll be very happy.
I've never seen Kilmarnock in Europe. I've never seen them in Europe. I mean, the last time Kilmarnock went in Europe, I was, let me get it right, I'd be 9. So, for me and for a lot of the support here, particularly the guys that were at the cup final, this is a big night for us.
Oh, the biggest concern now is actually getting burnt. You know what I mean? You've got it fine, the actual part cut to a fine playing surface, and if it's been short, there's a chance the suns will burn it in certain areas, you know. But as I say, I'm quite happy the way the park is. As I say, it's looking well, and they can't play in that, they shouldn't be playing at all.
It's very warm. I hope it's a bit cooler tonight for the players. I'm sure it's a great stage, and there'll be a special atmosphere here tonight.
They'll make it hard. They've got more European experience than we have. They've played in it a lot more than what we've done in the last few years, but they'll make it difficult. But if we do well tonight, I don't see why we can't take a good lead across there.
Good looking dude, isn't he, really? Corner kick on this left-hand side, taken by Desi Baker. It's well delivered, it's hammered in. Richardson outside the area! He starts the run, right-footed, and hammers it into the top right-hand corner. This ball wants to be played into the middle for Kilmarnock. Here is Nevin, it's a lovely reverse pass. Here's Paul Wright this time! And Paul Wright has scored! Kilmarnock have done it!
It's been long, to say the least. It's been enjoyable, and it was great to see the supporters turning up in numbers. There was a good atmosphere in here. It's a typical Killie story we left in the last minute.
But one that Kilmarnock manager Bobby Williamson says he'll take.
With us tonight, as is Gordon Smith. Well, Scottish football's declining status was emphasised in midweek with first-leg European defeats for Celtic, Dundee United and Rangers. Each will claim that there's better to come in the second leg with varying degrees of optimism. Kilmarnock, meanwhile, did manage a home victory against the Irish part-timers Shelbourne, although they couldn't have left it any later.
Corner kick on this left-hand side, taken by Desi Baker. It's well delivered, it's hammered in. Richardson outside the area! He starts the run, right-footed, and hammers it into the top right-hand corner. This ball wants to be played into the middle for Kilmarnock. Here is Nevin, it's a lovely reverse pass. Here's Paul Wright this time! And Paul Wright has scored! Kilmarnock have done it!
Bobby, you were more relieved than anyone, I'm sure, to see that late winner going in from
Certainly
Paul
was.
Wright. Your debut in management in the European sense, though, how did you find the whole experience?
It was very exciting. As I said earlier, it's been a whole buzz right around Kilmarnock at this moment in time, because they're back in Europe after so many years when Gordon was back playing there.
Sure.
So it was great
but
to be
do you
involved
approach
in
things differently at all? I mean, I know you obviously watch the opposition.
To be honest. We did look at opposition, but we look at opposition in the Premier as well. And any team we're playing against, we obviously try and get them looked at. And we've done our homework on Shelbourne. I went over a few times, had a look at them, and I knew they'd be organised and we'd sit in, we'd play with one up and try and support them quickly. And the game kind of went the way I would have expected it to go, apart from scoring the goal. I've seen the guy having a few shots over there, and none of them hit the target, and we're well off the mark.
Yeah, that was a cracking
hit that one. I was disappointed actually the lead up to it. If we try and encourage our defenders to head the balls out to the side, back out the way that maybe it came in from. But maybe the big man lost it with a player in front of him or something, and he never got a good connection on it. And if he's into those areas, there's every chance it could end up in the back, and that's where it ended up.
It does seem the case now, though, Bobby, doesn't it, that in Europe almost your away leg is an easier game, isn't it? Because there isn't quite the pressure on you to go looking for something. You can afford to sit and hit on the break a little bit.
As I said earlier, it was very important to go that second goal, because if we never, I think Shelbourne would have sat in again at home. But I still think they'll play one up, and they'll just let the game go on and see if they can maybe scrape something. But I'm sure if they do come out, we've got the guys that can exploit them at the back and maybe create another chance and get a goal over there.
Yeah. I know you wouldn't be thinking about it, but after the 3 disappointing early results, there was maybe almost that early extra pressure on you to do something for Scottish football, not just for Kilmarnock.
Yeah, that's right. We're trying to fly a flag for Scotland, but I think we've still got a reasonable chance of getting a few clubs through. I think Dundee United can do something. Celtic have obviously got a great chance. And who knows, if Rangers get the support behind them and get a full house and get an early goal, who knows, I think they can maybe do something still.
Gordon, Bobby maybe feels that the criticism has been over the top, that it is after all only half-time, if you like, in the 2 matches. How would you assess it?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that it's mainly come about because our champions Rangers had such a bad night. I mean, all in all, you would consider Celtic's result and Dundee United's results pretty good. The only thing I've got against that fact is that nowadays in Europe, more and more, you know, it's about getting results away from home, getting goals away from home. And at one time you used to consider, you know, going away in the leg and just losing by 1 goal, having a 1-goal deficit to be a good result to come back home. But I think nowadays that the scenario has changed in Europe. You almost have to go away and get a draw, and you can even win away from home nowadays because the opposition are dragged on to you. So it's not that easy to pull back a 1-goal deficit because you're having the onus is on you to attack. And I'm sure Bobby thinks that Shelbourne are going to have to attack them and he can score. Now, but the same token, Trabzonspor and Innsbruck, Tyrol will be thinking the very same about coming to Scotland.
See, the big picture is really what we have to look at, isn't it? We need all of our teams to do well to keep this famous coefficient up, to give us places again next season, because that's actually now in some jeopardy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very worrying trend. We need Kilmarnock to go through, and we need at least 2 other teams to get through as well. Rangers will go into the UEFA Cup at worst, which means that they can actually be in further rounds in Europe as well, which can also boost because you get points for wins and points for draws in Europe. So that can also help if Rangers don't happen to go through the next round. But we really do want to see all the teams go through. I know when you're a partisan supporter, you don't really care, and sometimes you want the opposition to lose. But for the sake of Scottish football, it would be good if we get plenty of our teams through.
Yeah. Do you notice among your players, Bobby, that there's an extra interest, that it's a break from the league routine, that they look forward to the prospect of more European ties?
Well, I think our lads are excited about playing in the European stage. They know that the whole of Europe looks for these results, they see the goals, so they want to impress, and as I said, they want to play in that stage. So they really look forward to it.
Good. Well, we wish you and, of course, all the Scottish clubs well for that second leg, Bobby. Thanks for coming in tonight. Bobby, of course, and Kilmarnock have that Coca-Cola tie in midweek against Stirling Albion. That could be a tricky one. And, of course, our colleagues on Radio Scotland will have coverage of the Coca-Cola ties in midweek.